Welcome back, YouTube. Week 35 and 36. You didn't think I'd skip out on 2 weeks in a row. Not a bloody chance. Although I'll tell you what, it has been very difficult to find the time to get in and actually do these videos, but you guys are loving them, so we're going to put the extra effort in. I do appreciate all the love. I love the likes and all the subscribes, and the comment section's been terrific too, so lots of interest in what we do and how we do it. So guys, anything you've got, continue to upload those comments. I'll do my absolute best to get back to you. I did take a weekend off. Shock, horror. I went away hunting. That's my other passion, fishing and hunting, my two favourite things to do away from work. Visited a friend's farm out in Western New South Wales, an absolutely beautiful Angus beef cattle farm. I was able to fill the freezer with some prime venison backstraps and also remove a couple of those feral pigs out of the population. So you could say it has been very successful. But hey, back to reality. The team have done an enormously great job here in the workshop. We've got a stack of different boats to try and catch up on now that we've got 2 weeks again to get through on our weekly workshop walkthrough videos. So hey, let's get cracking on that list and let me show you what you've got to look forward to in this week's video. G'day YouTube, welcome back to another weekly workshop walkthrough here at Barji Marine HQ. Alright, so the 625 Cruise Craft Outsider, its refit is finished. We've water tested it. We put this on the water. We've commissioned the Seakeeper ride, commissioned the Garmin sounder, and all the other onboard systems, and it went perfectly. And I've got to tell you, I don't know too many 625 Outsiders with Seakeeper ride on it, but whilst we didn't go and put it in the ocean, we could tell just from what we were doing in the estuary, the way this boat now leaps up out of the hole. In fairness, it never had trim tabs to start with. But what a difference this has made to this cruise craft. It went beautifully. We're delivering that boat with a customer next week, so looking forward to showcasing all the work we've put into the refit of this boat. 575 cruise craft, and a couple of days worth of work. We didn't get a full week on that one this week. We did get plenty done last week though, so we'll do another recap on where we got to with the 575. It's coming along beautifully. We don't discriminate here. We work on boats big and small, and true to that form, we've got a customer's tender here. We've got a little Zodiac rigid inflatable boat in for some upgrades, so I'll run you through that and you can see what we're getting up to there. We've also had a amazingly well-maintained and loved 7-metre Razerline plate aluminium boat in for a Minn Kota Instinct Quest install. We've done a beautiful job on the fabricated bracket for the front and the whole battery installation, so we'll give you a look at that so you can see how all that works and what we've been up to with the Razerline. 21 Reef Runner, well, the refit has started. We've got the boat fully stripped out, but we've also got the new B275 low-high wide 1 kilowatt transducer in. It's mounted in the keel. First time for us, big project, petrol tanks out, but anyhow, if that interests you, stay tuned, we'll show you what we've done with that guy as well. The 685 Cruise Craft Explorer, it is done. Also been on the water with that boat this week and got everything commissioned. Again, Seakeeper ride. Guys, if you own a cruise craft, the best money you can spend hand down on that cruise craft is going to be Seakeeper ride on the back of it. And I'm telling you, that's coming from a former cruise craft owner. What it does to those is phenomenal. That guy's got a pair of NSS 4s, Simrad screens in it, a 12 and a 16-inch screen. You've seen that. You've seen the refit over the past months and other weekly workshop videos we've done, but it's done. We'll be delivering that to the customer as well in the coming week. But the water test went well. All our quality checklist has all been signed off. So on the water, we'll sit through and do all our QAs, make sure that everything's been commissioned, tested, leak tested, and everything's performing before we give it back to the customer. We've commissioned the Seakeeper ride, all the Simrad autopilot system. That boat is ready to go. Check it out. It is unbelievable how well that boat's come up. Something we haven't seen in the workshop before, old school cool, a 23-foot Flybridge Bertram. Good old birdie, in for a Furuno upgrade. And I'll tell you what, considering what it had when it came in, these guys have been fishing blind. Anyway, full compilation of Furuno gear, TZXL16s, a pair of 1 kilowatt transducers, full Furuno DFF multi-beam transducer. Proper upgrade. And I'm telling you, these guys are going to have one hell of a weapon come summertime. So we'll get a video up. Check it out. And last but not least, of course, the big 760 enclosed Haines Hunter. Another big week by the boys, sitting in there behind the helm, doing all the rigging. It's come up an absolute treat. It's getting closer every week. So we'll go through that and we'll show you exactly where we're up to and all the improvements we've made behind the helm. And guys, don't forget about Tool Time, the all new episode we brought in 2 weeks ago. It's back for another tool review. I'm going to show you one of our favourite tools in the workshop. So I'm sure you're not going to want to miss out on that. Stay tuned. Anyhow, for now, let's get cracking on the reviews. All right, the 625 Outsider. As I mentioned, it's done. It's all finished. The cream on the cake is the U-deck. The team at Specialised Marine Flooring have done a beautiful job installing this floor. This is the light grey over black. You can see we've got some there on the step. Got some on the rear step here. And then for climb in, you can see we've got it throughout the entire boat. All the floor has been done. Got a really nice pattern, gone away from the traditional planking style pattern in this boat in favour of this more of, I don't know what you'd call this, a bit more of a diamond pattern, I suppose. Got a nice fish rule in here as well, up to 1.2 metres. Yeah, so it's come up an absolute treat. We've painted the pedestals as well. So paint stripped all the old flaky paint off and given them a hit with 2-pack. Remade all of these covers as well, these hatch lids. And the guys at AHS Yachts have put these nice little pull latches on. These are made out of King Starboard now. So not out of the plywood, fiberglass over plywood. This is the hatch that had a lot of rot in it, had a lot of sitting water. So it's all thermalite now up the front there. All flow coated, reflect, and looking $1 million bucks. We've got a bit of U-deck in here as well, which looks great inside the, between the V-berth. Put that back down. And that runs all the way through. Bloody beautiful. Such a nice way to finish off any boat. Makes it feel literally like a brand new boat. Nice to see all the seats back in it now. All the helm, all complete. Water test went really well. I love these boats. It's without a doubt in my mind that this is one of the best models cruise craft ever produced. It was a shame to see it go. The 625 Outsider, if you own one, never sell it. I reckon it's going to be one of those boats that just goes up in value with every year and every new model released. 575 Outsider, I've had another week and a bit on it as well. Look at that, keeping the 625 Outsider company. Two great cruise craft models. Let's climb aboard and see what we've been up to. In at the bilge, we're all done. All the pumps are fully wired up, plumbed up, ready to go. I've installed a new fuel filter water separator here, the new stainless steel head, so say goodbye to all those flaking cast aluminium filter heads. Great little investment. We've still got plenty to do down the back here. Still got to wire up all the batteries. We've got the Voltgo lithium in there. So a lot of the heavy current cabling has been run, so it's between the front and the back. It's where it needs to be now. Now we've just got to start terminating it off, so still a little bit of work to get through down here. Over at the helm, I've still got this side panel pulled out, but you can see we've got a board mounted in there. We've got a lot of the gear fitted. We've got the Mercury vessel view, the Lenco trim tab controller. We've installed a network expansion port for the Simrad system there because we ran out of Ethernet ports. It's the anchor winch solenoid for the Lone Star drum winch, and then we've got a 3D structure scan module in there as well. So yeah, that's all pretty well fixed off and ready to go. We've added a second Evo 3S Simrad screen here on the helm, so this boat is going to have no shortage of Simrad. It's got these two 12s and it's also got a 7 in here at the helm, as well as vessel view screen, so plenty going on. Got a whole new bunch of switch panels made, so let's check those out. So we all make these in-house, these backlit switch panels, make them tailored to suit the boat, the shape, the size, and whatever the customer wants each of his switches called. You can see these are all fully pre-assembled. Again, unique shapes. You can make the engraving as large or as small as you want, and the switches pretty much whatever colour too, as long as it's red, blue or green. Another one there, all ready to roll. They all have custom cutout templates, so we'd cut these out for the workshop team as well to know exactly where to drill holes and make cutouts. You also get these if you buy switch panels direct off us online. That's what they look like. So yeah, there you have it. And then there's another larger one here with a cutout for, that possibly looks like a VHF radio in there. There's all the switches. You can see we've got a blue protective film on this at the moment. That's why it looks a bit funny, but that's just to protect it from any scratches, which we would hate to do on one of these brand new nice panels. Up on the top of the bimini, we've installed the Starlink Mini. We've had a plate welded in on the base there and used the genuine Starlink mount. This is the Roam mount you can buy directly yourself off the Starlink website. Puts it on the tilt. Normally we'd use our own flat mount style mounts, but given we had to do a substantial amount of extra fabrication just to use our mounts, it made more economic sense just to use the steel Starlink mount and a much smaller fabrication job. So, but all in all, that's fit up there really nicely. Over at the bow, the Lone Star drum anchor winch is in place, just fits in this hatch. They're not very big, I can give you that much. You can see the porthole down the bottom there as well. The original one had no O-ring in it, and the owner had a problem at some stage where the boat started filling with water. So we pulled the old porthole out and put a new one in that has an O-ring, fully resealed everything up. So if you've got one of these and you've got a water leak and you can't work out from where, might be worth just checking whether you've got a porthole fitted, especially if you've got a boat latch fitted to it. That's the only way to access it in this model. Make sure it's not leaking. The half horse pipe is in. That's where the anchor rope and chain, well, sorry, not rope, but, well, yes, anchor rope and chain, I am right, correct myself there, passes through and onto the drum. These are the holes that you see. You saw those in some of the previous videos that we've done in recent weeks. We've fully epoxy filled those to seal them up and then put some white flow coat over it. And then the team from Specialised Marine Flooring have come out and Proline. Proline is a special tool they use to draw the shape when we're going to do U-deck. So we're going to put some U-deck over that bowsprit just to hide all these ugly repairs and also dampen a bit of that chain slap on that bowsprit. So that'll just finish things off a lot nicer than it is at the moment. All right, I said earlier, we don't discriminate. We work on boats big and small. Here's a classic example. We even work on inflatable ones. Here's an awesome little Zodiac tender. One of our customers owns a much larger boat. This is the tender to the big boat. You would be shocked how much these tenders get used when they're paired up with like a bigger game boat through summer. If the boats aren't out game fishing, they're usually up a river somewhere, in the harbour, wherever it might be, and it's these tenders that get craned off and run the crew around, run the family around. As you can see, I even got a ski pole on this, so pull the kids around on the ski tube. But anyhow, we're doing a little bit of remediation work on this boat, bringing it up to speed. We're installing this Fusion SRX 400 stereo head that's going in the dashboard just here. It's a very tight fit, but we've got it in. You can see where we've cut through. We've also sealed it up, so we've painted and sealed any exposed fiberglass or timber. This had an aluminium vinyl wrapped in carbon fibre panel over these old gauge holes from obviously an older model motor. The customer wasn't in love with it, so we're going to build him a nice acrylic matte black panel here. We're going to radius the edges and polish them out, so
and then mount his little Simrad screen that you can see sitting there back on the dash, so it's going to tidy things up a lot there. Switch panel's gone, that's what used to be in here. We're going to go and manufacture a custom Barji Marine backlit switch panel with nice stainless steel push buttons. We're going to strip all that wiring out, we're going to put a proper fuse panel in there. We're going to pull some of the wiring out from inside the bilge area as well and renew it, just to give everything a bit of a new lease on life, and also give the owner some confidence that when they're running this thing around, it's not going to give them any dramas. The customer wasn't too happy with the way the battery was mounted in the back compartment here, just drifting around. So asked us to install it on our Barji Marine battery block mounting system, which is what we've done there. Now that battery is nice and snug and secure in this spot. We also put a new bilge pump in there. Thank you to whoever it was that installed this C-deck in here. You laid a panel straight over the top of the compartment to get to the bilge pump, which was there. So you can see we've actually had to cut this C-deck out, fish the screws out to undo them and pull that panel out. So yeah, not ideal, but anyway, we got the job done, and now this little Zodiac has a new bilge pump in there as well.
Big Razerline in for Minn Kota Instinct Quest install. Just finishing her off at the moment. There it is, sitting proudly up on the bow. That's the 86-inch model. We've custom fabricated bow mount for it. Customer's taken it away and painted it himself, colour matched it to the boat. So rather than welding to the boat and burning all this beautiful paint, we've made a full separate sub-assembly and bolted that to the deck rather than bolting through the side. So you end up with a much less paint repair. See there, we've got a huge footprint laying on a big bed of Sikaflex and then through bolted and double plated from the inside of the boat to give this very heavy Minn Kota Instinct Quest an enormous amount of support, which is what they need. You cannot undercook the brackets on these motors, as we've seen. How good's that come up? So in addition, we've installed the remote power switch there for the Minn Kota. Minn Kotas won't power on with battery power from the circuit breaker. They need a separate switch mounted somewhere in the dash there to turn them on, or else you've got to remember to physically turn them on over at the actual motor itself on the switches. But it makes it much nicer to have the switch here just to power it on remotely from the dash at helm. This is what the battery app shows. It's fully charged. We've just taken it off charge. So you've got all that sort of data. The percentage of battery, which is the most important one. So you can see how much runtime you've got left, or the percentage of charge, the state of charge, voltage, the temperature of the battery, the health, and the health changes as it discharges. And then you've got the top one there is the Razerline. So we've given it a name. Temperature. This workshop has and any alarm, so any alarm state. So if there's an issue with the battery at any stage, tons of them come up. So it's really handy for us. That'll help us give a better idea of what's going on with the battery. You can find it very quickly. And then we also go in and name these batteries so that when you fire up the app, there you go. You can see which battery it is, particularly when you've got multiple on your smartphone. Alright, so we're just going to turn this Minn Kota on. This is the process that's used. So we come in here, we turn the circuit breaker on. That provides power to the Minn Kota. And then the switch here on the dashboard, all it needs to be is pressed. That's it. It's a momentary switch. Little blue LED backlight comes on. All the lights come on the actual Minn Kota. And then for deploying it, we just turn this remote on. You'll see it power up here. Press I agree. The backlight's pretty faint on this. I should turn it up for video, shouldn't I? And then we got a shortcut saved here. So we just press number 1 to bring up the Instinct menu.
and there you can see deploy. And then we just go right arrow, and off she goes. And now it's deployed. Don't even have to leave the steering wheel. How good's that? And then it's just a reverse of what we've just done. We press number 1 again, and we're going to go and stow it. Press stow, and there we go. Easy as that. And if you want to power it off, just come back down to the helm here, press the button. That's it, motor's off, it's asleep. You can come in here. When we finish, we turn the circuit breaker off, and then we can plug it in and start charging it. Too easy. The 21 Reef Runner, we've got the transom all stripped out. Old transducers off on both sides. Those holes will get repaired. We've got the B275 LHW going in on the planing plank. You can see the customers had a new trailer built for this boat, and the rear cross member made specifically to take a big transducer. So we're actually going to use the B275 fairing on the customer's request under here. So it's going to protrude quite a long way down, so it needs this clearance on the trailer. So I'll keep you updated on that. I'll show you a bit more of that on the inside of the boat. Traditionally speaking, this would be used on a much larger boat, and it would be cut on an angle using a bandsaw to allow for the dead rise of the hull. And then it creates basically a two-piece fairing, so the top half would be on the inside of the boat, and the bottom half is what you'd see on the bottom of the hull. And the transducer, that teardrop shape, would sit inside there, all sealed up. And through here is what's called an anti-rotation bolt, which stops this from spinning due to water pressure. So we'll be cutting this guy straight down the middle, and then the shipwrights will be shaping it to the curved shape of the bottom of the hull, and then installing in the bottom here. Alright, so I started stripping out all the wiring from under the gunnels, some of the old existing cabling. Just lots of nasty stuff going on, very basic and original. Battery isolator there, all green. Box of old wiring. Dashboard's all stripped out now as well. So I'm going to do a full remodel and reconfiguration of everything there. Got an autopilot going in. We're going to have that 16-inch Simrad up on the dash and flush mounted 12-inch. Vessel view is going to be all reconfigured as well. So yeah, lots to do, but the initial stages have started. Progress is good. This boat for now is off to the shipwright to get that transducer installed, and then we're going to come up with a plan on how we're going to modify this tank. Stay tuned. Alright, here's the 21 Reef Runner. Guys at AHS Yachts have done a beautiful job with this. Transducer's in. This is what it looks like underneath the keel. You can see it sitting there. Nice and deep. This is going to read unreal at speed. I've no doubt about that at all. There she is. Fit up beautifully. Going to take a little bit of work to get it right in the it's inside the boat, but let's take a look and show you what it looks like in there. Look at that. We've set it a fair way forward too, probably a little bit further forward than we would normally, but that's to just try and give that water plenty of time to clear up before it finds the prop. But the natural design of these fairings is to do exactly that. It's to clear up that water and provide a nice hydrodynamic flow of water over the prop. Inside the boat, there's where the petrol tank used to sit, and you can see here that's the stem of the 1 kilowatt transducer coming through from the centre of the keel. There's the anti-rotation bolt, so we're going to have to modify the petrol tank, put a tube in it basically to allow the stem of the transducer to pass through the tank and the cable to come out the top. So that's how we're going to do it. Going to lose a little bit of capacity in the tank, but I think in the end of the day it's going to be well worth the efforts to get a transducer that reads well at speed, particularly in these 21 Reef Runners, because they are one of the worst hulls to get clear readings at speed from any transducer.
Bertram 23 in for a Furuno upgrade. Classic old hull, deep V, Flybridge configuration. You don't see too many of them in the workshop, but what a beautiful old classic boat. Customers installed his own transducers. So take a look at those. Under the hull here, we've got a pair of SS175s. That's a high wide and a low. And then down on the keel, we've got the Furuno B54, which is the 3D DFF transducer. So it's got all the fruit under here. There will be absolutely no hiding from the Marlin this coming season. And let me tell you, if you want to talk about an upgrade, that is what it had beforehand. So a fairly significant improvement in transducer technology. All of 300 watts here compared to all those watts there. Cannot wait to see what the owners of this boat are going to be able to do with all those transducers under the boat. Let's take a look at what we've done inside. To make the install of these transducers easier, the owners opted to pull the engine out, which, as you can see, makes things much more accessible inside the bilge here. There's the pair of SS175s, and that's the top of the DFF transducer, the B54 coming through there. Cables have run up along the back of the transom, up behind the exhaust risers, and then we've run them down the port side away from all the heavy current cabling over there. All very original in here. Original Caribbean wiring, or Bertram wiring rather. I'm so used to saying Caribbean given that we've got one, but yeah, so when we get a situation like this, we much prefer running clean power and earth, not relying on all the old crusty original cabling that we tend to find in these boats. So we've run new 6mm cable, power and earth, directly off the back of the isolator and directly off the battery here, so we know we've got good clean power. And when I mean clean, I mean it should have very little to no resistance and no electromagnetic interference from just things like bad old cables. So we want to make sure we give these Furunos the very best chance at the highest level of performance, which we know they can achieve. There it is, powered up. Navnet TZ Touch XL. Very clear screen, very clear. The menus, charts. These are the new XL charts. Great detail in them. These are our canyons off the Central Coast at Newcastle. Moorhead Canyons, for those of you familiar with them. Anyway, we could go through this on and on. Beauty of the XL has got onboard Wi-Fi, so we can connect it to the internet, and we can download the TZ maps so we can get a 7-day weather forecast. We can do all the SSTs, chlorophyll charts, currents, wind direction, all that sort of stuff right here in real time. So again, the power of things like Starlink on your boat, where you could be out here, out in no man's land, have an internet connection and download the latest sea surface temperature to work out what's going on, particularly when the pipe shuts down. Great feature, one of the best features Furuno have brought into their range, in my humble opinion. I love those canyons. Anyway, let's have a look behind. Right, in the cabin of the 23 Birdie, there is the DFF 3D multi-beam sonar module. Wow, we're zoomed in a long way there. Let's try and fix that. There it is, mounted on this rear bulkhead. All the transducers, the DFF, the B54 is wired up into this guy. And then the pair of 1 kilowatts are going back into the 16-inch Furuno screen. In behind the dash here, can't show you too much. I was too late getting in here, but you'll have to take my word for it. We've opened this up. This patch was too small, but in behind here we've got the Furuno NMEA 2000 network. It's an ActiSense multi-hub, and we've also got a Victron power isolated converter, so it provides clean power to the CAN bus network, which is a critical part of the Furuno system. And we've also put a Blue Seas fuse panel. There you have it. That is the Furuno upgrade to the lovely old 23 Bertram. Huge upgrade to this boat. The 760 enclosed Haines Hunter, another massive week on the wiring behind the helm in this girl. We're getting closer with every week. We inch a week closer to completion. Let's climb in and have a look and see what we've been up to. The team at Furuno have kindly given us a line drawing here of the entire Furuno system, which helps us ensure we wire it up, connect everything correctly. There's quite a bit going on. You can see we've got FLIR, we've got NX radar, external GPS, TZXL touch, 295, we've got a pair of 1 kilowatt transducers, a Seakeeper 1 gyro in there, full enemy A2000 network, we've got an autopilot controller, we've got a fusion stereo. Whew, there's plenty going on, and you'll see what that represents when you see how much cabling is going in behind the helm in this boat. Alright, climbing down carefully in here. Alright, there you have it. We've gone and installed a big clear acrylic panel to cover all the wiring, all the controllers, the fuses, everything that needs to be installed in a boat like this. There's a light in behind there. And we've done that to make it look nice. And you know what? We put so much time and effort, and our customers pay a lot of money to have this done the way it is. And why hide it? Why hide it? It's like artwork in behind here. We want to showcase it. We're proud of what we do, and our customers want to see it. So here we go. We've got a nice clear acrylic panel installed. On it is this Blue Sea switch and circuit breaker board. So these are resettable circuit breakers, so they'll trip if there's a short circuit or an overcurrent, but they can also be turned on and off. Much more common to see these on bigger game boats, less common to see them in trailer boats like this, but they do have a place if you've got the room to install it. And room is something we're very quickly running out of in this boat. Even when it looks like you've got a huge surface to mount stuff on, when you've got this much gear in it, it becomes increasingly difficult to, one, find places to screw off to, and two, make it all neatly. You can see all our cabling running through here, and there's no shortage of it. All through there, we've got a lot of blue Victron gear in this boat. I love the Victron equipment. I love the integration with the batteries, with solar, with the VRM portal, with an onboard internet connection. It all works so nicely. Look at that. That's a clear cover. Not super happy with the strength. There's quite a bit of weight in this breaker board, so we've got a plan to try and strengthen this up a little bit, so I can have a bit more of a play with that this week. I just do not want any cracks or anything to break here whilst this boat's getting smashed offshore, which is what they do. We're all finished in behind the helm on the Furuno side. All the cabling, all the labelling's in, all the Mercury vessel views done. All the engines are powered up. They just need to go to the dealer to have their final commissioning done. We still need to install the autopilot and the hydraulic steering lines, and we need to do all the transducers and through-hole pickups down in the bilge, but hopefully that's next week. I keep saying that every week, but yeah, we are getting closer, that's for sure. The autopilot heading sensor mounted. Got a washer bottle there for the wipers. Got the fusion amp in and all fully wired up as well. And then we've got the Furuno autopilot here, autopilot controller module. It's in and fully wired as well. So a lot of progress. Sometimes very hard to illustrate that amount of progress and the amount of hours that go into these fit outs, but I'm sure if you've been following, you'll see how much progress has been made, and we once we get to the end, all the time, effort and energy is well and truly worthwhile. It's tool time. All right, this week's tool time video, I want to show you one of the most popular tools we've got in our workshop. We're going to skip straight to one of the better ones. There it is. That is the Milwaukee electric hydraulic crimping tool. Now, we would do some week hundreds of crimps on battery cable here at Barji Marine, and I can tell you this has made our life so much easier. It has improved our efficiency and the quality of our crimps, hands down, by an absolute mile. Perfect crimps every time. We can replace the dies. You can see in here, so with our different diameter cables, we've got a full die set there, so we can do everything right up to around, I think, 120 mil cable, which we very rarely see. But yeah, fully hydraulic, so in she goes. You just hit the button. It measures the torque that it's applying to the actual crimp and make sure we've got perfect compression every single time. So yeah, this is it. Electric, Milwaukee, it's the M18. Guys, I will mention again, we are not sponsored. This isn't a promotion of product that we're getting paid to talk about. It is just something that I completely value, and I think anyone else in the industry, if you watch these videos, and I know you do, if you don't have one of these, you're mad. Go buy one. It'll be the best money you spend. All right, so I thought we better do a little bit of a product review. For those of you that aren't aware, we manufacture a lot of our own products. These guys here are our range of Protek caps. These are these are cable caps. So they're designed to protect the ends of your cables when you undo them from the back of your screen. We've also got them for the back of your screen. So when you don't have cables connected to those, or you just generally don't have a cable connected to a port on your screen, now you can use these. There's our Protek caps, available online on our website. We've got these for most major brands: Garmin, Simrad, Lowrance, Humminbird and Furuno, and most of the models, continually adding new ones. This is what those screen caps look like on the back of your screen. So you basically just unscrew those, and then that protects the back of that port on your screen. So got a little gasket in there, so it seals up nice and tight, stops water getting in. And yeah, that's it. These are your cable caps as well. So this is what I talk about when we say it protects your cable. So you screw that guy there onto this cable end, and that stops these precious little copper pins from corroding like they do when they come in contact with salt. Also got them available for VHF antenna bases. And then of course all the major brands: Garmin, Lowrance, Simrad, Humminbird, Minn Kota caps too, if you've lost those. So yeah, screen caps, cable caps, Protek. That's the brand, Barji Marine, www.barjimarine.com.au. Check them out. All right, guys, that's it. Another weekly workshop walkthrough video done and dusted. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found something interesting. You might have learned something. If you see anything you'd like to know more about, don't hesitate to leave a question in the comment section. I'll do my absolute best to get back to you. The comment section's been awesome in the last few videos. I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can, but you know, you've got to be realistic. We are also running a very busy workshop. Lots of very cool things going on, so it does take me a little bit longer than usual sometimes to get back to comments. And on that note, of course, I have been a little bit slack. I'll admit it. I'm sorry to getting back to some of the phone calls, email inquiries, quote requests, and the like. There's really only one of me, and I've got Amanda, my wife, in the office helping me as well, and she's absolutely flat out. So again, definitely not complaining. It's an awesome problem to have, but I do apologise if I've been a little bit slower than usual to get back to you. We are starting to return back to some normality post-boat show, which is awesome. Things went really, really well there. Super happy with all the results. So yeah, hopefully the time it's taken to get back to you guys will improve very, very soon. Guys, again, if you like what you see, please share it with your mates, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a lot. It grows that community, and the more people seeing and following our videos, the more people get to see how boats get fit out and how they're done right. And I think that's just a great result all in all. All right, guys, well, that is it. Thank you again for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you again on our next weekly workshop walkthrough videos. We are going to be doing things a little bit differently. We're bringing in some help to try and produce these videos because they are taking up so much of my spare time, which I've only got a little bit of anyway. So there may be a little bit of a delay. I'm thinking about maybe doing these videos with a 1 week pause. So there'll be a delay for a week in between shooting and editing the videos, but hopefully that produces an even higher quality of video and a little bit more consistency in them coming out as well. So just guys, stay tuned, stay patient with me. But anyhow, enough waffling. Until the next video, guys, take care, stay safe, tight lines. We'll catch you then. Thanks for tuning in.